Hey guys, classic start to the video there. Right, we are in Cambridgeshire today. Had a slight issue, bit of a bit of a late start. The boys in blue decided that they should stop me. I forgot to tax my vehicle. Normally I replace it every few years, but life being life, I thought I'd run it out another year. Forgot that the MOT needed doing on vehicles a few years old. Oops. So fortunately we got it taxed and MOT'd this morning. Started at lunchtime-ish, but it's a little local job for us. This is a separate swing unit and tower. So they did buy a wickey before, but I don't know if you can see, but the garden's kind of a bit wonky and slopey. Get a grass bit over there, and I don't know. But basically, it wasn't going to work. I turned up, said hey, and suggested one of these, which they seem very thrilled with now that they've seen the quality of a wickey, and then one of these rock up and the quality of this. It's a bit of a hard sell when you're competing with people like Wickey that are just selling junk and you're buying online. But separate swing unit, as you'll see, solid 4x4 timber, goes up into the metal frame. This supports and holds all the wood nice and tight, all screwed in from different angles, stops the swing beam from twisting, stops any issues, and that's on both ends. Normally suggest these as a separate unit, as this customer has listened. The reason is you'll never go to a play park and see a set of swings joined to a tower. I think the only people that seem to be able to sell them for some reason is Homefront, and we're still trying to figure out how, because normally with people doing custom or slash commercial climbing frames, the swing is never attached, but Homefront one is, so it's an interesting one. I've asked a few people how they get around it. No one seems to know. They just say you don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to speak to my next Rosper guy and ask if it's normal or not. And then separate tower, this is open over here. So again, they have jumped from a wickey up to this, so they have jumped on budget. So we could, in theory, at a later stage, put a cabin, a bench, put just a floor in there. They're losing those trees as well, so that they can see the tower from their house. And the idea is that then we can either get something else on the other side, or put a set of monkey bars onto this side coming out, and then this rock wall would go on the other side once those trees have disappeared, and looking at what's happening. So this was, I don't know, 2.5-ish, 3-week turnaround from point of deposit to point of install. Again, we don't normally start our sets until deposit's received, just because it's just the way it is. Or like, we've had a couple of customers recently saying, here's your deposit, can we have it next week? You said it was okay, and I've said, well, you haven't confirmed it, like we've got other jobs in there. So is what it is. Trying to do our best to tick people through, but that's that. So we've got a cargo net, again, just as a sell for us. This is 75mm each bit of wood. So this is actually the legs I think you get on Wickey, maybe Dunster now as well. We use it on just our rock wall, and you can see the size difference between our legs versus Wickey legs. But yeah, there we go, 75 mils. We then put eggs on that crosses every point. The reason is it'll only go saggy like that, whereas if it's got a knot in it, the rope sags and the whole thing just starts trending down. You will see it when you buy the off-the-shelf ones. Then you can come back and say, yes, okay, I watched your video. But basically that is there. I think this is poly hemp rope. I think it's 22mm. So this goes around, and again, normally people are using either 8 or 11 or 12mm, I think. So just as a quality difference. Again, usual roof, all clips together. CLS as the balustrades, and then we've got full-on decking. You can see how thick that decking is for a floor. It makes part of the structure. Everything's internal, so that these legs then can't twist and rock around. Everything all braces up together to make sure that you've got a solid plank on every corner, and then your concrete and the roof holds it on at the top. Up and over the balustrades, I don't know, there's been mixed opinions. I think it's safer for smaller kids because if they're small, you're going to be out here with them anyway. If they start climbing, you can help and support them. But when they're inside, they're not going to just fall out the side. So if you've only got it to the floor, the likelihood is the kid's going to fall out more likely than there. If they can climb up that high to 1.5, then they can probably climb that extra 40, 50 centimeters. But that extra little height makes it so much better for 5, 6, 7-year-olds that are trying to climb. They wanted separate handles. Again, I've done the little classic wonky ones. There's no point of having handles together. You know, whenever it climbs up a ladder and holds 2 handles at the top, they will climb up, pull themselves up, and then grab the last one and swing themselves inside. And that's that, really. We're not all like multiple towers and tens of thousands of pounds of playset. It is, you know, ticking along doing, like, I'd say, sort of averagey gardens as well, essentially. But that's the best frame. Sits in the corner, and they've still got their garden. Doesn't matter about wonky floors because everything gets dug in. Welcome to the next generation climbing frames. Let me know. climbingframeinstaller.co.uk, covering England and into Wales. Thank you very much.